Question is that the motion as moved by the member for Wallsend be agreed to. I call the member for Upper Hunter.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise to oppose this motion. Now, while it's pleasing that we are finally seeing an opposition member say something positive about TAFE, I do remind this House that their entire campaign, TAFE campaign, is built on lies and misinformation. So we'll look at the facts. It is those opposite who pose the biggest threat to TAFE. Now, rather than setting out a positive vision for TAFE and vocational education and training in this state, Labor has spent all of their time campaigning outside of healthy, thriving campuses, telling prospective students that it's a bad time to enrol in TAFE. Labor's campaign is one of misinformation and lies, and they have claimed that this government has cut TAFE funding when we are in fact investing $1.99 billion in TAFE, a $122 million increase on last year. Labor claims that there is a mass exodus, student exodus from TAFE this year, and that the apprenticeships and traineeships have declined because of smart and skilled. So we'll expose this lie as well. Enrolments in 2016 are in fact up, with over 315,000 students training at TAFE in just the first 4 months of 2016. New commencing students are 27% up compared to the same time last year. There has been a 14% increase in Cert 4 to advanced diploma level commencements, while Cert 4 alone has an increase of 18%. This is an excellent result for TAFE that we like to see on this side of the House, as it represents a significant increase in the number of enrolments in vocational educational training at TAFE New South Wales. Apprenticeship and traineeship approvals are increasing again following declines recently reported by NCVER. Apprenticeship commencements in air conditioning and refrigeration trades increased by 17%. Electricians and plumbers both increased by 7%. Traineeship approvals are up 12.62% for the first quarter of 2016 compared to the first quarter of 2015. New entrant traineeships have grown by over 10%, or 6,890 for the first quarter of 2016 compared to 6,118 for the first quarter of 2015. Industries like building and construction, communications, furnishing, light manufacturing, textile, hospitality and utilities and electro-technology are all performing very strongly compared to the same period last year. Now, Labor claims that...
What about the students?
I've got news for you. It's all about the student. It's not about the union mates, it's all about the student. Labor claims that fees have skyrocketed and claims that basic fees start at $4,000.
How much are they contributing to your campaign?
Order. The member for Clarence.
So
Order. The member for Upper Hunter, excuse me. Members on both sides will cease conducting conversations across the table. The member for Upper Hunter should be heard with due regard, as was the member for Wallsend. The member for Upper Hunter.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Let me continue. This is all good news. So let's expose that particular lie about skyrocketing claims or skyrocketed fees have gone up. A Cert 4 in access to work and training is only $220. A Cert 2 in construction, $870. A Cert 3 in allied health assistance, $1,440. If you're Aboriginal, if you have a disability, or are a young person on welfare from social housing or in out-of-home care, you do not pay a cent, not 1 cent. The New South Wales Government pay an average of 90% of the cost of foundation skills, 75% of the Cert 2 and 3, 70% of Cert 4 and 60% of diplomas. For a Cert 4 in commercial cookery, the New South Wales Government contributes over $11,000 per student. For a Cert 3 in carpentry and joinery, the New South Wales Government contributes over $12,000 per student. On one hand, Labor opposes the right for students to choose their own training provider, but on the other, Labor supported private training providers when they were last in government. Funding for private training providers in New South Wales grew under Labor. It doubled from $100 million in 2005 to $200 million in 2010. In 2015-16, under this government, $56 million in funding followed students training with private providers. Labor claims that the New South Wales Government is selling off 27 TAFE campuses relying on an old leaked document from last year to prove their case, so we'll expose this lie too. TAFE New South Wales will only divest those assets that are unused or no longer fit for purpose, with all proceeds reinvested back into new TAFE assets. 18 of these assets on this alleged hit list are surplus vacant land and buildings, not TAFE campuses as claimed by Labor. Labor left TAFE in a mess with operating costs of 40 to 60% higher than other states, locking young people out of training and educational opportunities. Labor allowed money to be wasted on administration costs in TAFE rather than investing in education and training for students in New South Wales. And Labor and the Greens believe that all VET courses should be free. They are quite happy for this government to fund courses like basket weaving, bookbinding and even hula hooping. But this, in reality, even ignores the economic responsibility or the responsible economic management that is required. Within the next 3 years, New South Wales will need 25,000 new skilled workers in the disability sector to support the rollout of the NDIS. And this government has responded, investing $10 million last year to fund 2,000 additional new training places in qualifications that support the NDIS rollout. We need to focus on funding that creates more places in these qualifications, and that will actually lead to a job. Hula hooping is wonderful, but you don't get paid a lot of money for doing that. And if the taxpayer is going to support it, let's go and support jobs. Labor's ideology is one of propping up inefficiencies at the expense of training opportunities. Labor fails to place the student at the centre of vocational educational training, and I'll remind them just one last time, I am opposing this motion because TAFE is about the student, not about your union mates.